Good morning, guys. My name is Caroline Green, and you are listening to another episode of This Takes the Cake. Today we have a very special guest. If you have listened to any of the episodes that I have been on previously, you know exactly who I'm talking about. We have today one of our previous grooms, Michael. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Caroline. Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, Michael, where did you come from this morning? You flew all the way out here from where?
From Newtown, Connecticut.
Oh my gosh, that's loyalty. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Michael and Matt got married June 3rd of 2023.
Three.
Gosh, feel like it was longer ago.
It does. It feels
You
a
guys-
long time ago.
How's the married life?
It's going great.
Yeah.
No complaints, and feels like we've been married for almost 10 years now,
I
but
feel
it's
like
only been 3 months.
I know. I feel like you guys, your wedding was a while ago, and it really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Well, Michael also, he makes candles, and if you're a guest on our podcast, then you walk out with a very special This Takes the Cake candle. He totally customized it for us, and it is one of the coolest things ever, So, Michael, do you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So, recently I started like my own little candle business. Just was doing it for fun and like didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I kind of just watched videos, figured out like, oh, I can, sell these. And
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
So,
And they're so cute. Oh my gosh.
they are, yeah.
I have one on my desk right now.
I've never personalized candles before until,
Really?
yeah. So it was a very fun experience. And
You did so good. So it's a cake scented candle, and he also did teal sprinkles on top for
and
us.
black wax.
Yeah,
That
which
was
is
pretty
pretty
cool.
badass. I like
Yeah.
it. The one I have on my desk right now, it's blood orange, and as soon as I lit it, have you ever smelled the Capri volcano, the Capri blue from Anthropology?
I think so.
It's like a dupe.
Oh, that's my favorite scent is blood orange.
I love
it's
it.
Like,
We'll put all your stuff on here, and
oh, good.
people will know where to find you and everything. But Anthro dupe, blood orange, you heard it here. I'm just saying. So today we're going to kind of be talking about client relationships and the planning process. Obviously, you kind of know by now I've talked about you so much, and the whole office has also talked about you guys so much. You're kind of my favorite.
Oh, thank
you. We're going to just ask you a few questions about, how you found us and all that good stuff. But let's start with, how did you and Matt meet?
So Matt and I met during the pandemic in 2020, and we just met on an app.
That's never going to happen for me. Like, I'm jealous.
See, it was like, since it was the pandemic, it wasn't like you were going to go out somewhere and go meet somebody, honestly. But
Yeah.
So we ended up meeting at a Starbucks parking lot, talked
Okay.
for 5 hours, drove around, and just,
See, that's how you know if you can just have, like, good conversation.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big thing for me. Like, I will not go on a date because I'm like, I just don't want the conversation to not be there.
Yeah.
Then what are you going to do?
Exactly, yeah.
It's going to be weird.
But,
Well, that's amazing.
yeah, it was.
I have totally given up on apps, so I'm kind of jealous.
Keep trying.
Right? You think? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think
just
so.
deleted one.
Listen, it took us, 5 hours to talk, and now we're married. So come on.
True. Okay, so how did you find Stunning and Brilliant after you got engaged?
So we came down to Myrtle Beach because, we knew we wanted to get married down here.
Okay.
We looked up a venue. Brook Green Gardens was the top venue.
So
we
did
went
you
there.
pick the venue or the planner first?
We picked the venue first.
Yep, I love it.
I
I love that answer.
Yeah. And we spoke to Anna.
Mhm.
She was amazing. She
We
gave
love
us
Anna.
a tour, and she goes, Caroline and Stunning and Brilliant, amazing. Definitely,
Aw.
pick them as your planner. And we
Anna's
did.
the best. Oh my gosh, I love her. So so you knew you were getting married in Myrtle Beach,
Yes.
which I guess, from the outside looking in, a lot of our clients are destination. I've lived here my whole life, so I'm like, why? Like, what is bringing you here? So was it just Brook Green? Were you did you grow up here and did you have a house? What drew you here?
So our first trip together, Matt and I, was Myrtle Beach. We fell in
okay, well,
love
that's
with it.
perfect.
Yeah. So we knew it was like, this is such a great spot. We wanted a destination. We didn't want to do anything crazy, but Myrtle Beach was like just a beautiful place to be, and we want our family to experience it.
Yeah.
so it's amazing that, you know, they were here with us and experiencing just Myrtle Beach in general and just.
And didn't, you know, wasn't your family, that none of them had ever seen Brook Green Gardens before wedding day?
No, they've heard of it, but they've never like actually gone there until, you know, we started talking about it, and they're like, this place is like a hidden gem.
It's unreal.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's like the best, like that's like a wedding gift to your guests.
It is,
like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Yeah, I mean, like, talk about, like, a surprise wedding venue. You're like, oh, yeah, let's go we're going to Michael and Matt's wedding. And then you walk into Brook Green Gardens, and you're like,
wow.
What? And I want to say you guys were the last Palmetto Garden in Live Oak LA
for the
wedding.
renovation, yeah.
Truly iconic. I mean, that's like the duo right there.
Yeah.
And you were the last one to do it. So you guys are just the best. I keep on forgetting about all these small little things. I love it. Okay, so let's think back on your wedding day. Wedding day is packed with so many things. But if you had to give me like a highlight, like one of your favorite moments, what would it be?
I'm trying to think.
There's so many different parts. I have a few that I'm thinking of for your day, but as like, you know, you got married that day, like I want to hear what was the best part for you.
Honestly, the best part truly was when Anna actually took us and our niece to go see the baby goats that were just born.
On the golf cart?
They're like 2 weeks old. Yeah. That was probably like, it's up there and, you know, definitely top highlight, but.
Mm-hmm. I love that you guys went and did that. Like it was so just, let's go. Do you want to go on a golf cart ride? You guys had your wine. Like, yeah. We're going to go see the baby goats.
Just a little break for us. And
you need it.
Yeah.
You're like celebrities on wedding day, so like you need a second. So I'm sure that was wonderful. My favorite part, I have to tell you, was when your dad was on the dance floor. Iconic, I love it. And they're from New York, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I will never forget. Like, what's the song? It's up to you.
Oh, New York.
Yeah. Everyone went crazy for that song.
Yes.
And there was one point where you guys had cafe lights, and your dad was kind of like, he was, the lights were moving. And I remember I went to go check on Matt, and I'm like, hey, like, do you need anything? Do you need a drink? And he was like, just bill us.
We thought those lights were coming down.
Yes. No, but it was so funny. They were just fine, but that was definitely one of my favorite parts. And another one of my favorite parts was when you guys walked in, like, on that ceremony, and we pushed the gates open, and you came from one side and Matt came from the other side, and you walked down the aisle together.
That was truly amazing.
That was so cool. I loved it.
Another one of my top highlights was actually our private dance, because we were going to do that private dance private.
Yes.
And it was so much more special to have the family surrounding us at the end of the night for our last private dance, and it brought tears to everybody, and it was amazing.
I remember that was like kind of a last minute, like, you know, actually, like, they can stay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed that. Good. Okay, let's see. So what do you think the day would have looked like without having a planner there?
A complete disaster. Truly.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what life is like without a planner, so I don't even know how to answer that. But okay, I like it. So let's see. Okay, this is a good one. Was there anything that you weren't sure about, like, letting me take the lead on? Like anything, little detail-wise along the planning process, anything like that? Because I feel like throughout the planning process, I could tell that you were very detailed. Because I'm very detailed, and so I picked that up about you, which I love because, I mean, it makes, you know, we have something in common. But that also, like, if you have something that you want a particular way, like where you kind of nervous, like, this girl's just not going to get it.
So there was one thing, the tables. Mm-hmm. So I sent you guys multiple pictures, and I think it was the candle, I forget the name of them. The
votives?
No, it was like the little lighthouse kind of things with the glass all around.
Oh, yeah.
So I sent those out. And I was like, oh, you know, we didn't really discuss talking about those.
Right.
And, you know, maybe they won't be there. And they were there. Tables looked beautiful, and there was all my trust into you. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything, but I was like, you know what? We'll see what happens. And when we walked in, and I was like, these tables, the farmhouse tables with the,
it was just
the greenery on them, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. It was such a good, it looked so good.
It did. You guys did an amazing job.
Thank you. Okay, well, how important was it to trust the process when planning from another state? I'm sure that made you guys nervous at sometimes, because you're so far away and you're like, oh my gosh, like.
There was times, yeah, but truly, we really did trust you guys. Mm-hmm. You guys seemed like, obviously, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we just kind of let you guys roll with it. You guys would send us pictures or emails or whatnot and update us, and we're like, awesome. This looks great. And
one of my favorite things about you guys was how well you were at communication. Like, we barely texted.
Yeah.
Which in my book is like, amazing. Until of course, wedding week, and it's about little things like, oh, I'm almost to the office dropping off my things, or that stuff. But I never had to worry about, oh my gosh, I haven't heard from Michael and Matt, and I never had to worry about oh, they're gonna take forever to respond to me. I never had to sometimes I feel like as planners we really have to kind of get on our clients hey, do this, because there are some things, like your special dance songs and some things that we can't pick out for you. But I never had to worry about that with you guys. It was just so easy flowing the whole time. Everything was just bang, 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 spot on, which made my life so much easier too.
Yeah, yep.
Which is one of the main reasons that we talk about you guys all the time. But let's see. As a client, what was one of your favorite things that we did throughout the process?
Throughout the process,
I know, once you think about, when I say throughout the process, you're like, God, we were working together for a minute.
God, I don't know.
I know.
I'm trying to think. Hold on.
I feel like once wedding day comes, what do you mean the process? All you can think about really is, wedding day. At least
there is, a bunch of things on wedding day that,
right?
Definitely.
Wedding day is just so big.
Yeah. Our favorite thing was probably that my parents and Matt's parents and our sisters, everybody had their own wedding planner in a way.
Yeah.
And we had no idea that you guys were going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And my parents were like, she's holding my shoes. This is I didn't ask you to do this. This is amazing. I can't believe this. Aww. And so it was really sweet that everyone was taken care of, and the team was always amazing, but they also loved you guys too. They thought the wedding was beautiful and the design was beautiful, and when it's an easygoing day and you have easygoing clients and the day is seamless, and it really makes it so much fun for us too. Yeah. Okay, last question, I promise. So about wedding day. So what's your favorite design detail from wedding day? Definitely the tables.
Yeah.
And then the other one would probably be the bar with
I did
our
like the bar.
Dogs that were each had their own drink, the Fergatini,
yes,
the Moe's Meal, and Gus's Old Fashioned.
I love it.
It was very sentimental to us too, because obviously our pup's going to be there. We wish they would be. So they were in a way, and everyone's like, oh, I have to try the Ferg now. Oh, I have to try the Mo or the Gus.
Yeah, the Fergatini that's a sleigh name. I like it.
Yeah, it went well. Right,
yeah, and that's the perfect way to. I always tell everyone, I'm like, you can't have your dog signature drinks, and it's always a hit.
It was definitely.
I don't know if you guys got to experience this, because I know you were taken away for photos and all of that good stuff, but when you were walking from ceremony into cocktail hour, that moment was crazy.
Oh, all the guests walking and just
oh my gosh,
seeing everything. And
yes. So if you're familiar with Brook Green Gardens, they got married in Live Oak Alley, and it's the most incredible aisle and the most incredible trees and all the things. And after you walk out of ceremony, you can kind of go in this it's
called the secret garden.
Yeah, it's this little entrance, and then they had their champagne wall with their M&M sign, and then you walk into Palmetto Garden, which is just decked out in wedding day stuff. Oh my gosh, it was
beautiful.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite little design details of the day. Okay, so I think we're good on wedding day. We're going to move into the second part. So let's talk about when we first met. I believe it was at Brook Green. Yes. We had a day full of vendor meetings. We did Brook Green, and then I sat with you guys at your right before your cake tasting. Yes. We talked about flowers. Yep. So what was your first impression of me?
First impression was she knows her shit.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Because I was so nervous. You have no idea.
Were you really?
Oh, my gosh. I was freaking out in the inside. I'm like, I haven't met them before. I hope they like me. Like, all the things we're doing all these meetings, and I'm, like, eternally freaking out. I loved you guys from the jump.
Oh, we loved you, too.
But I was so nervous. Let's see. Okay, so this question kind of says, how did you know you'd be a good planner / client fit? I feel like we communicated very well.
Yes.
You know, I would give my ideas and to like kind of overall, and then you guys would say, okay, I love it and I hate it, which is literally perfect.
Yeah.
Because that's what,
very honest.
You know, yeah, but it makes it so much easier because our goal is to bring your vision to life.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, as a client, I feel like you don't really know where to begin.
Yeah.
So that was clutch. I loved that. I don't know. I just felt like we worked well together.
We like had like the same thoughts almost.
Yeah.
Like on like designs and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
Our minds are like.
Yeah, I love it. What was the planning process like being so far apart? What do you, I mean.
Like far apart like in months or in distance?
I guess both.
Okay, so far apart in months, I
think that like helped.
It did because we were able to like go on Pinterest and like look up like, designs.
And it's not probably as overwhelming.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were so rushed. Like we had 2 months to plan this and, you know, have 125 guests show up and
people do that.
You know, like it's just not ready. It's not how we envisioned it. And, you know, we had plenty of time to envision it and make it how we wanted everything to be.
And you can just take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine being like, okay, oh my God, we have to make all decisions now, go.
Yeah, exactly.
And as far as, you know, distance-wise, I feel like we were fine just because we would do calls and,
we were
like
able
I said,
to travel often to come down here and, you know, sit down with you guys.
That made it more exciting, I feel like. You know?
I was always excited for like these trips. So like, we're going to Myrtle. We're going to go see Carolina. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're wedding planning. I love it. Were you ever stressed out at all during? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it that we don't see either. So like, I feel like you feel all the emotions, but do you remember being like,
yes,
oh, wedding day just needs to be here.
Yes, Matt and I can both agree to that. We were both very stressed at some points, and him I think a little more sometimes, But then it happened, and you're like... And, you know, wedding day got here, and we really wish we could just go back to it.
Yeah.
And just do it again.
I know.
Even the whole planning process. It was so much fun to just, you know...
I wish, like, every wedding day was like your wedding day. I'm not even kidding. If you, like, saw... I mean, I guess you guys... Like, if you've been listening to, like, you've heard some of our horror stories, so you can imagine, like... I'm, like, so serious when I say I wish all of our wedding days were like y'all's. Let's see. Do you have any advice, you know, since you are now married, for anyone who is going through the planning process?
Definitely take everything with a grain of salt. Because you'll envision something like we did, and it may show up, it may not show up. You don't know until the day of sometimes.
Yeah.
And just, you know, communicate a lot.
Yeah.
That's like a key factor, and, you know, express your opinions on everything to your planner. And
I agree. Because we don't know.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Because if you're not honest, then you show up the day of your wedding and it's not what you envisioned, you know, you got to express your opinions and be out there.
Love it.
Be open.
Absolutely. You got to tell them. Okay. So, are you ready for, I have a little surprise for you.
Oh, boy.
Hold on, wait. So, I want you guys to know. So, you guys got married June 3rd.
Yeah.
We had our Barbie party, our office opening.
Yes.
Sometime in July. And I was begging Michael and Matt to come to this Barbie party. It's like, please come back to Myrtle Beach to come. And so at the end of their wedding, they're like, we'll come to the Barbie party if you come to the bar with us. Yes. And I'm like, oh, tempting, but I can't. So I'm like, okay, well, so I feel like it's only fair that I owe you a drink.
Oh.
And the drink that I have, it's not champagne. It isn't a champagne flute. But I didn't look at your timeline because if I got this wrong, it's going to be really embarrassing. Yep. But your signature drink, or not your signature drink, but the drink that you got has like stood out to me the whole time. So when I asked Michael like what he wanted after a ceremony, we bring our clients a drink right after they get married, and he tells me that he wants a Pinot Grigio and a Coke.
Yes.
And I'm thinking like, this is so slay. Like this combo is slay. So I had to bring it on. And I wanted to know, like, do you drink the full Pinot Grigio and then you drink the Coke?
Yes. So what's funny is everywhere we go, Matt always looks at me. He's like, are you going to get a glass of wine and a Coke? And I go, yes, I am.
It's a thing.
I don't know. It's like, I want my sugar, but I want my wine. And
I love it.
Best of both worlds.
I love it. Well, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming all the way out here today. You totally don't have to drink it. I know it's like the crack of dawn, but yeah, I'll have a sip with you. I think my body's going to crash if I drink the Celsius, the wine, and the Coke, but
I love this.
Okay. Well, now that I've got a drink in you, I'm just kidding. But I do have another surprise. So this is a story about your wedding day that you don't know about.
Oh, boy.
Are you excited? Are you
nervous?
I'm
excited.
So let's take it back. It's June 3rd. It is probably 1 p.m. Maybe. No, probably noon. I don't know. You guys are still doing your thing, getting ready, nowhere near Brookgreen. And, we're doing our thing, getting everything set up, and I run into an issue. Oh, no. So the day before, I'm counting all of your rentals, all the things, and I noticed that we're a few linens short. So that's fine. Like maybe there's an event, whatever. That's why we set up a few days prior. Mm-hmm. So that number is counted for, and we're like, okay. So wedding day gets there, and, the rest of my linens show up.
Yep.
And I look at these linens, and I'm like, I literally start crying.
Oh, no.
I'm not kidding. Well, I'm dramatic. Let's keep that in mind. So I don't start crying yet, but I'm like, there's no way this is happening. Like, what is going on? So they were, like 3 linens were a shade lighter than your sage green linens.
Really?
So I'm freaking out because, Michael, like I said, we're the same. And that detail, can't miss it, right? So I'm like, oh my God, like there's no way this is happening. And like, I love Michael and Matt. Like, what is going on? And I see Anna. Anna comes and checks on me. She's doing her rounds. And she's like, how's everything going? And that's when I start crying, is when I see Anna. And she's like, okay, you got it. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, it's okay. You had your moment, whatever. So we literally look at the tent, and we look at where the light comes in on the tent. We spread out. There's 3 linens that are like it's like a shade lighter than your sage. So we put the lighter linens where the sun doesn't hit on the tent, so you can't tell the shade difference. And that's how we figured it out.
I never noticed it, honestly.
Did you?
No.
Well, I was convinced. I was like, Michael's going to walk in this tent, and he's going to come up to me, and he's going to be like, Caroline, what the hell is this? And I was like freaking out about that. But then I was like, Caroline, like, no, he's not. It's fine. And there's something like you have a different eye as a planner, and you're like, you notice all these things that other people wouldn't notice. Yeah. But that just goes to show, like, things happen on wedding day, and you got to fix it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to ruin your day by saying, I have 3 of the wrong colored linens. But instead, we literally looked at the tent where the sun was coming in, and we were like, okay, it's dark right there. We'll put it right there.
Wow, that's amazing. Because truthfully, I don't think anyone noticed at all.
Well, you couldn't notice after, but
I feel like the day of, like, it's hard to notice minor things. But like if something like major, like they forgot like the flowers, the center of the bar, like you'll definitely notice something like that.
Yeah.
Some guests may not even notice because they don't know it's supposed to be there. But like the groom or bride or bride and groom, you like they'll notice sometimes.
Yeah.
And
that's, that's a good point. You say like if flowers go missing. So you see all of our binders over there.
Yeah.
That has like all of your contracts in it. So if that were to happen, like that's exactly why we take those on wedding day.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're going to get these flowers here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nope, sorry. Figure it out. Love you. See you soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my surprise for you. Oh. How do you feel? Are you like, you really didn't know?
I really didn't know, no.
Good. Good job, Caroline.
You guys did really good with the lights, the shining, the dark, and,
That was just a decision on wedding day that I had to make and say, am I going to bother them with this? Or are we just going to figure out and fix it? And honestly, I wasn't going to bother you with something that was going to stress you out on your wedding day.
If you asked us and they're like, listen, we have 3,
well, you guys are cool. So
we would have honestly just said,
whatever.
It's fine. Yeah. Just mix it in, mix match. It's all
you
matches.
You guys are very cool like that. Not everybody is, though.
Yeah.
But, yes, that's my surprise. So what makes you and Matt great clients? One, you're just really fun and you're easy to talk to and we get along great and all the things.
We do.
But another thing that stood out to me just about the whole planning process and why I love you guys, which is totally, I feel like everything flowed just so perfectly in my head that like I didn't even realize the green flags and red flags in clients until like after. And then you guys, I'm like, wait, they did that green flag, green flag, green flag. Like, perfect example is social media and clients for us gets weird. Like when before wedding day, we definitely prefer like that we don't have you on anything because it just makes us, I feel like I can't have a life.
Yeah.
And like, this is one of the things after your wedding day, like, I'm pretty sure like, I'm friends with you, Matt, your sister. I'm
my
like
mom.
loving it. Yeah, like, and that's exactly like that is so perfect because I want to keep in touch with you and I want to see all the cool things you're doing. And it was just worked out so perfect that all of that happened right really after your wedding. Yeah. So that's another reason why I'm obsessed with you guys. And I think like everything was wonderful. And like I said, your communication was just so spot on. Like I didn't have to worry about you guys with anything. Like there was no sketchiness, there was no like ghost, there was, you know what I mean? Like
we were like both of us, we were always on top of stuff. Like
and that's like hard to do. Like you both have lives, you both have jobs, and like planning your wedding is my job, so I'm constantly blowing you up, I'm sure. And you guys are still just so good with like response, and I'm like, God, like y'all are on it. Like
because we know like how it feels. Like, if someone's like emailing us and they need a response, like or we're emailing them and we need a response, like
you get it.
It works both ways. So
well, the fact that you thought about that when you're planning your wedding means it meant so much to me as planning your wedding. Yeah. Because it just helped me so much.
But it's like you're the one planning the wedding, so we're gonna always respond to you because it matters. Like it's important, and you're in control of everything. So it's
everything's up to you. Everyone who's listening that's a client, I hope you're taking notes.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I definitely would.
But I'm not kidding. Okay, so we've talked about how all these little things that Michael and Matt have done during their planning process, on their wedding day. And another point too, like you guys were just very chill on wedding day, and some people will literally treat us like personal assistants on wedding day.
Yeah.
So the fact that you just had respect, just that we're another person meant the world to us. You have no idea. So that kind of goes into why we think you're just amazing. But is there anything in particular that we did that you guys were like, okay, like I'm happy we went this route. We're going to be fine.
Definitely the organization, like after phone calls and stuff like that.
I would send you a novel.
You would send me, yes. But it was very important because it was everything we just talked about. We could have forgotten like one little thing. It was in that email. It was organized. It was a list of like things we had to do. We were always on top of it, and you kept us organized.
I feel like, after, if I don't write stuff down, like after a conversation like that, oh, I'm forgetting it.
So do I.
You know, like
my memory is very short term.
Yeah. And then you'll bring it up later and I'm like, oh my God, yeah. That's why I have to write notes while we're chatting, like all the things. But I mean, that helped me just as much as it helped you.
Yeah. It kept us both organized and just, like on top of things, and the flow was always great. Just
like that was your to-do list, that was mine too. I mean, I would print it off and highlight it when it was done. So like that helped both of us.
We had it on our whiteboard. In his office, and we would just cross things off.
I love it.
Okay, the flowers are done. Okay, this is done. Okay, that's done.
Yes.
So we knew.
Side note, which is another reason why I like you guys, because I actually hate DIY stuff, right? So that's just, every planner's different. I don't like it, but you guys changed my mind with your favors. And now you made candles for all of your guests.
Yes.
Which is not really DIY because this is your thing. Like, you make candles.
Yeah.
You guys made candles for your favors, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. And I think I've mentioned that a few times on this podcast already. Somebody was like, favors, yay or nay? And I was like, yay if they're personalized candles for your guests. But I actually took one, and it smelled so good. It smelled like a beach vacation. It was like pina colada, I think.
Yes, pina colada.
I hope you know I would just open it. Like, I wouldn't even have to light it. And people in the office are like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that smell? It smells so good. What do you have? And I'm like, it's my candle for Michael. I'm not sweating. So you had to make all of those candles. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So we made 150 favors, I believe. And so we actually had our parents, our moms, and our sisters helping us making the favors, because we actually made these 2 weeks before the wedding.
No way.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a little secret. We did not make these way in ahead of
Were you stressed?
A little.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if we were
going
to do
these
candles and finish them. Yeah.
What's that process like?
Very tedious, because you have to wait for the wax to melt. It has to cool down to a certain temperature before you can add the oil, because if you add it at like high temperature, the oil is just going to melt off and the candle won't smell. So it's like,
these smelled so good. So you did it right.
Yeah. Like, people would say like, oh, I put it in my closet and like I left it open and I didn't even have to light it because it was so strong and it smelled so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a very important thing for me is the smell. It needs to smell good. It can't smell like bland, or it can't be like those, like.
Sometimes you'll like see candles in the store and like you'll smell them and it's like,
they don't
what
smell
do you mean
good.
this
they don't
is like
smell like, Christmas tree or like something like that. Like, it's not a real smell. It's like a
I will say your candles do smell so good. Like,
thank you.
Even this one that I have on my desk is the blood orange one that we talked about.
Yeah.
I don't have to light it to smell it. I just have to open it.
Blood orange is like my all-time favorite. And apple harvest.
Oh, yeah. I have that one in my room right
harvest.
now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have quite a few of Michael's candles. Okay, Michael, speaking of, the amazing favors and your candles and all the things, tell us how we can find you. Where can we order from?
Yeah, you can order my candles from either you go to Gratitude 203 on Instagram, click the link, go to my Etsy shop, and
they're right there.
Right there.
Easy. I love it. You guys really should go and get a candle. I mean, they're fab. I think I have quite a few.
I just came out with like 20 new scents. So.
No way.
Yeah.
What? And they're all listed right there on Etsy?
They're going to be, yes. Right, very soon.
Oh my gosh, 20 new scents?
Yep.
Is the cake one on there?
It will be.
I love it. Okay. Well, Michael, thank you so much for literally flying all of this way.
Of course.
To come on This Takes the Cake. Your wedding will always take the cake for me. But thank you guys for listening. I'm Caroline, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I mean, literally all the things. Stunning and Brilliant Events. And yeah, we love you. See you next time.